right, guys, thank you so much for coming tonight. Just a quick introduction. My name is David Downey. I am the Director of Operations / Practice Manager / mildly better half of Dr. Ace. So tonight's presentation is about athletic performance and what that means to you. Let her take the stage and start the presentation. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. All right, well, hi guys. Thank you so much for sticking around this evening. Glad you guys got an awesome workout. So what I want to talk to you guys about is athletic performance. No surprise there. Everybody in this room is active, takes care of themselves, and wants to perform better. So 4 main things that I'm going to be talking about, which I see as really the foundation of performance. Hormones, sort of a scary topic that people know exists, but is so complicated that people kind of avoid. The central nervous system, equally as vague and scary, really the brain. We'll summarize that a little bit. Third thing is nutrient status. The fourth thing is really digestive health. So before I get into the nitty-gritty, I want to give you guys a little bit of my why I'm standing here today in a chiropractic office. I've known these good people for a while, and why you guys are all here, part of this amazing community. For me, I've felt like junk. I was in a car accident as a kid. I pushed myself so hard in the gym. I had to be on hormone replacement therapy just to get through medical school. I pushed so hard, I would just start crying because I didn't know what else to do, because I thought more was better. More was gonna get me fit. More was gonna get me feeling good. I just kept pushing. I was afraid to eat. I didn't know what foods were gonna cause pain, what foods were gonna heal me. Just not eating seemed like a better strategy, because when you're in pain all the time, it's just scary. And I've really been in so much pain, I was told, hey, painkillers are your only option. And now, flash forward to today, I feel amazing. I have an awesome team that keeps me healthy. I live a healthy lifestyle, and my body is at the peak performance. I was at a point where I could barely walk, let alone squat, and now I'm hitting squat PRs, and it feels amazing to be in my body, and that's what fuels me, knowing that no matter where you start, you can progress and you can achieve performance for wherever you're at. So, performance. First thing I want to talk about is, what is athletic performance? You know, I mean, we have elite athletes, we have weekend warriors, we have, so many people that are saying, I'm an athlete. No, if you're not a competitive athlete, you're not an athlete. So for me, athletes it's anybody looking to move their body and be healthy, whether you're at a competitive level or just doing it for fun with friends, people that are staying active. Now, within that, performance and health. So a lot of times, especially in the CrossFit world, we look at people that are the elite, and we think that they're the pinnacle of where we want to be. Anybody looked at, a competitive CrossFit athlete and secretly wished, I wish I could perform like them, look like them, have a lifestyle like them. It's kind of, what we all wish it could be, the perfect physique. But really underneath the hood, inside their bodies, tells a whole different story. When you have that peak athletic elite performance, you're actually not that healthy. You're pushing yourself really hard. You're pushing the limit of what your body's even physically capable of. So just wanted to compare and contrast a little bit performance for health versus performance for just performance sake. So every patient that I see has their own individual take on where they want to be on that spectrum. What we're going to talk about tonight is going to be the performance for health. So optimizing your body while keeping you healthy. So with that, what people's priorities are. Some people want to be a competitive athlete. Some people want to just work out in the gym to have a great community and feel good. It's just important to know why you're doing what you're doing, especially in our culture where we tend to get, oh, more's better. Hey, did you show up to the gym 3 times this week? Oh, 4 is better. Oh, you're doing 4? Well, I'm doing 5. It's this sort of one up, more's better, push, 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 which if we actually look at our lifestyles, we're going to realize that more is not always better. And a lot of times more is actually worse when we understand everything that's going on in our lives. So For myself, it's been a big learning curve to understand how much is a happy medium for my body, how much is too much, how much is too little, and really understanding why I do what I do. So something else in terms of performance is really what are you willing to do to achieve that performance? You know, because all of us probably could be professional athletes if we took all the necessary steps consistent with that. Now, would all of us want that? I wouldn't, because I like my family time and I like to hang out with friends and I like to have a normal lifestyle. I don't want to be working out 5 times a day and just so consistent on my sport. But in the world of performance, people don't always think about what's behind the scenes and what people have to do to achieve those goals. So when we get clarity on what we want for our own lives, it then opens up so much freedom to know what you have to do to achieve that. Okay, so first thing I wanted to talk about in terms of the foundation, hormones. So we all know that hormones exist. So we have stress hormones, sex hormones, metabolism hormones. We have hormones that regulate hunger, satiety. So there are so many of them. Hormones are molecules in our body that really control how we feel, what we do, what we eat. They're the driving force behind our bodies. 2 groups of hormones that are essential for athletic performance. The first, stress hormones. Can anybody tell me the name of the biggest, baddest, strongest stress hormone in our bodies? Cortisol, yes. So if I were to say I have really low cortisol, and that's awesome because I have no stress in my life. Who thinks that's good? Educated crowd, I like it. So low stress is not good. If I said, oh my gosh, I have so much energy, I'm just go, 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 I don't stop, I like barely have to sleep at night, I'm achieving so much. Am I in a good place? I'm super productive, right? Is that going to be good for me? Not in the long run, right? So stress hormones are essential for our life. Like in the gym, when you're working out, you're feeling good. That's increasing your stress hormone. That's giving you that pump to achieve your workout, to run, to lift that weight, to get going, which is good. And it can actually protect you from inflammation. So do you ever notice during your workouts, you feel really great? And that kind of ache and pain that was maybe there while you were warming up, it's just gone? You feel amazing? That's because cortisol has increased and now your body is suppressing inflammation because your body wants to get the task done. So it's fantastic. But if it's too high, it starts to actually favor the breakdown of your tissues. So cortisol is a hormone that's catabolic. It breaks things down. Again, it can be awesome when we're doing our workouts and it's crucial, but if we have too much cortisol, all of a sudden we're not going to be able to put on that muscle mass. Those aches and pains might not be there while we're working out, but they're going to be much more prevalent outside of workout times at night, achier. So that's not fun. And really any other health issue is going to be worse when that cortisol is higher. So we're going to talk more about stress when we're talking about the central nervous system, because this is where all the hormone production comes from. Sex hormones. So everybody knows what testosterone is, right? It's that muscle, that hormone that we think of that's going to give you those big biceps. Bodybuilders are taking it. So if I were to say only guys need testosterone, is that normal? No. So women need testosterone as well. Now, who knows what relationship exists between your stress hormone cortisol and testosterone? Anybody? Hormones are all about pathways. So our body's going to choose to make certain hormones to the exclusion of others under certain conditions. So in terms of athletic performance, it's really key to understand physiology or know why you're doing what you're doing, because everything has a consequence. So I work with a lot of athletes that have pushed really hard for a long time. A lot of men, a lot of women, they were great, they were competitive, and then they don't feel so good. And then they're losing some muscle mass. And all of a sudden, they're just no oomph. They don't really want to work out anymore. They're not motivated. And they're like, what's going on? I've worked so hard, and now all of a sudden my body's just not doing so well. Well, their body was making a decent amount of testosterone. They were building muscle. They were doing really well. And then they started to make more cortisol as they started to push harder. and harder and harder. So cortisol kept going up. Well, our bodies are all about balance. So as one goes up, another has to go down. As cortisol goes up, testosterone goes down. That's a relationship for both men and women. So in terms of athletic performance, we really need to keep the balance. Cortisol is crucial, again, for your workouts, but testosterone builds your muscle, repairs injuries, is crucial for gut health, for libido, for so many things. So the balance of the hormones is really crucial for athletic performance. Now, estrogen and progesterone, scary words for men, I know. Don't like to think about those hormones, but we have all three of them. Estrogen and progesterone. For women, have any of the women noticed that at certain times of the month, you feel stronger in the gym? Maybe one day in the gym you hit a PR and you're feeling great, and the next week you're like, you know what, I hit that PR, I'm gonna get 5 pounds more, but you get 10 pounds less. And what's going on with your body? It just doesn't make sense. You haven't changed nutrition, you haven't changed lifestyle, you haven't slept less, you haven't slept more. Everything's the same, and yet it's just different. So for women in particular, our cycle of estrogen and progesterone, which men, length of our cycles, 28 days. So we have a cyclical 28-day rhythm more so than men. When we're at the peak of our estrogen, we're gonna actually be physically stronger. So for women, the best time to actually lift heavier, sprint faster, work more is gonna be around day 12 to 14 of your cycle. So there's really a strong tie to our sex hormones in terms of athletic performance. Okay. Central nervous system. I said we'd get there because of stress. So for those of you that are under Dr. Nick's care for chiropractic, you guys are talking about the nervous system all day because the nervous system is housed in your spine. So spinal column. Now where it comes from ultimately is your brain. So in terms of your central nervous system, it really controls what your body prioritizes and how it functions. So we may think that, how I eat, that's really important, or how much I sleep is really important. But really, at the end of the day, what's running your body is your brain, and your brain's telling your body what hormones to make. I have plenty of patients that have come to me saying, hey, I eat nothing but salad and chicken, and I can't lose weight and I have no energy. What's going on? I'm like, behind that is, it's the hormones in your body that are telling your body what to do. It's not always about the input that you're getting from the outside. So in terms of our central nervous system, we really have two modes of operating: parasympathetic and sympathetic. They sound very similar, but they could not be more different. They're really a seesaw. So sympathetic is the state in your brain when you're producing cortisol, when you're stressed. So that's going to be in the gym. That's going to be driving and a car cuts you off. That's when you skipped a meal because you were at work too late and you just didn't make it home for dinner, or you're having a fight with a spouse, or a teacher's yelling at you. Anytime your body is experiencing stress, you're going to be in sympathetic. So that has a lot of consequences for your whole body. Your digestion is suppressed. You're not going to be producing your testosterone, your estrogen, progesterone as efficiently, because all of a sudden reproduction's not important. What's important is survival and getting the task done. Even if that task is that paper that you had to turn in at work a week ago and you were behind on. Body does not differentiate what the stressors are. So getting your body out of that stress state and into a state where you can relax and repair, that's what parasympathetic is. So can anybody think of why it would be important to be in your parasympathetic state from your brain? Any benefits there? So you can relax? Sleep? Yep. What about from an athletic performance standpoint? If I'm stressed and I'm go, 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 when I'm in parasympathetic, I'm going to sleep, I'm going to focus. What else am I going to do? I'm going to recover. Mary Sue, you get an A+. I'm going to repair and recover from all the time that I was stressed, whether it was lifting, running, or any of the emotional or environmental or chemical stressors that I experience, we have to have that balance in terms of how our brain functions in order for us to get any benefit from what we're actually doing in terms of athletics. So who do you guys know? I'm sure you guys could name quite a few people you know that just work out like a fiend, super stressful life, and no matter what they do, they can't really achieve what they want in terms of their performance. Whether it's weight loss or muscle gain or a certain metric, pushing. If we push all the time, we're not gonna see more and more results because the brain is literally gonna stop you from achieving that. So when we understand that balance, we can then purposefully add things into our lifestyle and our routine that help us sleep, focus, repair, so that then what we do in terms of exercise becomes beneficial. It doesn't become detrimental to the point where we're not reaping the benefit of it. Because who wants to exercise more than we can benefit from, right? The whole point of exercise is to improve. If we exercise just for the sake of exercising, we're not going to be healthier. So, as I mentioned, when we have a lot of stress, you're going to have decreased performance, but you're also going to have increased pain, moodiness, weight gain in all the bad places, and chronic disease. So anybody notice under times of stress, the body just, after the major stressor goes away, that's when pain, sickness, and all those things kind of kick back in. The body's trying to do everything it can to keep you healthy, but it has limits, and the brain can only keep you in that sympathetic state so long before it just breaks down. And it says, if you're not gonna take that time to relax, I'm gonna make you relax because I'm gonna give you a cold, or I'm gonna give you a flu, or I'm just gonna take all your energy so you just have to conk out. That's the body saying, you need to be in parasympathetic. So that balance is crucial. Good news is, it's your brain. We all have this balance, and once we know what actions are consistent with parasympathetic, rest, repair, digest, we can then start to make choices that inform how our body functions. So really, the key to athletic performance is low stress and a high stress tolerance, i.e. low lifestyle stressors and a high ability to handle athletic stress so that we get the benefit from it. So lifestyle choices in routine become extremely important. Okay. 2 more foundations. Yep. Nutrients. So what are nutrients? We have micronutrients, right? Vitamins, minerals, and we have macronutrients, proteins, fats, and carbs. Does eating a whole bunch of food do you any good if you're not going to digest it? Not really, right? You could eat all you want, but as long as this is not functioning well, not going to help you out. Does anybody know why micronutrients are so important for the body? We hear a ton about, oh, I'm going to be low carb, right? Carbs are bad, or I need protein. I'm going to eat 1 pound of protein for body weight, right? But what about micronutrients? Anybody know the role of those? Why do we need our multivitamin? Why do we need fish oils? Anybody? Yes. So micronutrients allow our biochemistry to function. I know biochemistry is a word like hormones. It's like, whoa, there's a lot going on there. But think of micronutrients as catalysts to make our chemistry work. They make reactions happen, whether that reaction is making energy, digesting food, eliminating toxins. Micronutrients are like little workers in our body that we could not live without. Now, we need those to fuel performance. So athletes, and I would say those that are active, have an increased need for a subset of nutrients because we're going to use our muscles more. We're going to put more stress on our digestive tracts. We're going to put more stress on our immune system and our joints. So omega-3 fatty acids are a category of micronutrients that we have an increased need for because they're anti-inflammatory, great for bone health, great for brain health, great for memory. B vitamins. When we think of B vitamins, what do we think of? Energy, right? Who's heard, oh, I need B vitamins because I'm low in energy, right? Thankfully, hopefully people are not thinking I need the coffee because that depletes vitamins. But B vitamins. So B vitamins, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 12. Who knows what happened to the 8? Just a sad one. But all of those B vitamins we have an increased need for when we're active and we're burning through our vitamins. Minerals, particularly magnesium, for our muscles, to absorb water, to help our bodies relax. Antioxidants. Who can think of why somebody who's really active has an increased need for antioxidants? Because we create more stress for our bodies. The more stress we create, whether it's, again, in the gym, from a relationship, from a car cutting you off, it doesn't matter. The more we increase our stress, the more we have to protect our tissues with antioxidants. So vitamins D, E, phytonutrients, glutathione, a whole slew of things are antioxidants and protect our body. Amino acids. What do amino acids come from? Protein, yes. So athletes, particularly an increased need for glutamine. Glutamine protects the lining of our digestive tract. It also fuels our muscles. So when you have an increased stress in your digestive tract, because you're more stressed, which suppresses digestion, we need a little support to keep that gut healthy. Glutamine's an awesome amino acid that helps protect it. Then we talked about macronutrients, proteins and carbs. So much debate there, right? I'm going to be paleo, I'm going to be ketogenic, I'm going to be, macro. There's so many different ways to eat. But for athletes, there's two fundamental principles in terms of macronutrients. Protein, at least 1 pound per body weight, especially if you're a strength athlete. If you're an endurance athlete, you're not going to need quite as much in terms of protein. But anybody in here count your macronutrients? Count, yeah. Do you know what's your protein goal?
95 grams.
95 grams. Anybody else? No. Well, mine is 140 because that's what my body weighs. So for me to eat 140 grams of protein, I need quite a variety of sources of protein in my diet to keep my gut healthy. I happen to be more of a strength athlete, so I'm looking to put on muscle. So knowing, again, going back to what are your goals, what are your priorities, everybody's different. So I can't sit here and tell you, hey, you need to eat this much, you need to eat that much, oh, you need this much protein, because athletic performance in terms of our nutrition is going to look different for everybody. But when we know what we're trying to achieve and we know what we need to get there, then we can actually look at our diets and say, okay, this is what I need to do. So protein is key. That's the number one macronutrient that I see the vast majority of my patients undereat. Most of them actually across the board undereat. So calorie intake is a whole other thing we could talk about, which goes back to fueling your body, giving your body the raw materials to actually have performance.
So you don't need a pound per pound of body weight like it says.
A gram. I think
Gram. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, typographical error.
That's a lot.
That would be a lot. Yes. Thank you. Yes. Carbohydrates. So, anybody remember back early 2000s, 90s when the best thing we were told for athletic performance was to carb load? If you were going to run or you were going to go to a meet, what were you supposed to do the day before? I know in college, pasta, rice, I'm going to pound all these carbs and then I'm going to be tired and my digestive system's going to work super hard overnight and I'm not going to convert that into energy. So not the best idea. And nowadays, what do we think about carbs? They are bad. They cause weight gain, they cause diabetes, and I'm going to avoid them like the plague, right? Now we're like polar opposite because I'm low carb, right? That's good. If you say that amongst your friends, everybody's like, wow, that's great. I wish I could do that, Well, I'm here to tell you that neither one of those extremes is great for an athlete. Because when we have more stress, our body needs carbohydrates to keep our nervous system in check. So I see a lot of athletes that come in on a low-carb diet with high blood pressure, with achy joints, with insomnia, part of the reason there is they're actually starving their body of carbohydrates. They're not actually getting fuel for the amount that they're spending in energy in the gym. So has anybody done a workout where you just felt like, maybe you did a few reps or you did a couple laps and then that was all you had. Your body reached its max and you just had nothing to give, whereas normally you're fine. Most of the time it's, oh, I haven't eaten much today. Or you know what, I just had a protein shake for breakfast, that was it. There's not enough fuel in your system in the form of carbohydrate to actually fuel your muscles for performance. So increasing your protein, increasing your carb, dependent on your activity level is going to be crucial. Okay, last category before we talk about questions. Digestive health. So the number 4 in terms of foundations for athletic performance. So there's a couple components. One, when your stomach is not so happy, you have a little bacteria, your digestive enzymes are not being produced, whatever the reason is, it increases pain because it increases inflammation. To fuel your performance, like we talked about with nutrients, you need absorption. This kind of gut is not absorbing nutrients very well. It has a really poor absorption. So not only are you going to have microbes, yeast, bacteria, maybe some parasites in there, but the great food that you are eating isn't actually translating to your performance. So another component is going to be, again, the stress. Again, when our brains are in that sympathetic, stressed out mode, it suppresses digestion. So digestive health is going to be key. Okay. Why would we have that gut inflammation? Like I said, bacteria, low probiotics or high bacteria. Gut inflammation can trigger joint pain, and then it activates your immune system. But you'd say, but wait, I thought that when I was stressed, my immune system was suppressed because of the stress, but now my digestive tract is inflamed, so now my inflammation is increased. So I have something suppressing my inflammation, something else increasing my inflammation. That is a recipe of disaster, which I call autoimmune disease. Now your body is trying to protect itself. All of a sudden, it starts to become hyperactive and attack itself. So we have mixed signals that essentially override the brain, and the body attacking itself ensues. So the gut health is crucial not only to performance, but to underlying health. Okay, so if you have any of these symptoms, suspect gut issues, whether it is joint pain, circles under your eyes, burping, gas, bloating, nail fungus, carb cravings, anxiety, all of that's going to more than likely relate back to imbalances in your digestive tract. All right, summing things up. Oh, but it's the holidays. I forgot to say, the brain's saying, hey, did you enjoy the holidays as much as I did? Because what do we do over the holidays? Pumpkin pie. I'm going to eat more cookies, maybe a little more alcohol. So the brain's having a field day, but the organs aren't quite so happy. All right, so secret sauce. This is what I want to sort of sum up in terms of athletic performance when we're talking about health. Performance comes from your lifestyle. So are you stressed out, or are you prioritizing repair? Are you in that sympathetic state where you're just go, 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 I got to get things done? Or are you going to relax, be calm, and repair your body? In terms of food, are you going to fuel your body with the micronutrients, with the protein that you need? Or are you going to indulge in something that just tastes good, the empty carbs, the empty food, the pastas, the cookies? They're calories, but they're not going to fuel your performance because they're not giving you the actual nutrients that you need to actually function. Sleeping, are you following your natural cycle? That goes back to hormones. Whole hour could be spent on circadian rhythms and how the hormones and the time of our sleep affects our performance. So suffice it to say that sleep is crucial. That's when most of us, that's the only time we actually get into that parasympathetic state to repair our bodies. But a lot of people are actually surprised that when you sleep, it doesn't actually mean that you're repairing your body. You can actually be in the sympathetic mode and be asleep. Think of it as like a light sleep. At the slightest thing you wake up, you're not actually repairing your tissues. A lot of people with chronic pain, I sleep fine. I get my 6 hours a night, but they're still in that sympathetic mode the entire time. Training, periodizing, going back to, hey, are you go, go, go? Are you high intensity all the time? Are you going to kind of listen to your body? Are you going to do some things intense, some things lower intensity, do some weights, do some training? So balance there. Hormones, digestive health. So good thing is lifestyle is the foundation of habits and what we do every day. So there's so much that you can do to increase your athletic performance, whatever you want to achieve. Your nutrients, your supplements, intravenously is an awesome way for athletes because it bypasses that digestion, which a lot of people have challenges with. Increasing our resiliency is the number one goal because all things being equal, you can get more bang for your buck from the athletic endeavors that you do. You can recover better, which is the only reason to exercise, is to get the benefits from how you recover. Getting manual therapy to flush toxins from your body, getting good chiropractic, and really knowing what's going on underneath the hood in your body. That's what changed my world, is understanding inside what you can't see in your body. What's your inflammation like? What's your nutrient absorption like? What are your hormones telling you about your stress, about your body's balance of, hey, is my body chronically going to be breaking down, or is my body actually favoring repair and building tissues? So when we understand those factors and we can understand what's going on inside, that then gives us so much more information for what do we do from the performance side, from the sports side, the training side, to actually achieve what we want. All right, guys, thank you for listening. Any questions? Nope.
I have a brief question. On the carb thing, because I am keto.
Uh-huh.
And I have been about 7 weeks, and it's been extraordinary.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also working out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been at 30 grams a day.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm thinking that I probably need a little more. I probably need to go to 50. Do you have an opinion about
In terms of and how much carbs you're on?
Uh-huh.
It depends on why you're ketogenic. So ketogenic being a predominantly fat-based diet where you've trained your body to use ketones as an energy source as opposed to glucose can have a lot of health benefits. Are you measuring your ketones to make sure that you're actually in ketosis?
I am not, but I
Can feel it.
I can feel it.
Okay.
I can feel. I mean, I'm not having sugar cravings. I'm not. My energy is sustained through the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing it for two reasons: it's athletic performance, but also diabetes runs in my family.
Mm-hmm.
My blood sugar.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all of the markers run high with my lifestyle. They shouldn't be.
And what's important for you in terms of performance? Are you trying to lift heavy? Are you trying to get body composition goals? Are you trying to run for time?
I play beach volleyball. And I'm happy with where I'm really happy with where I am physically.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really a maintenance mode.
Mm-hmm. Then I'd say it highly depends on what your goals are. If you're feeling good for your activity level on that low carb, you transition to ketosis and you're stable there, totally fine. Now, if you were a strength athlete and you're trying to actually gain strength, I'd say not going to work very well for you because it's not going to be sustainable. Your body's not actually going to be able to put on as much muscle as you'd want in that state. If you were going for an endurance sport, same thing, but it sounds like activity-wise, you're working out, but at a moderate level. And with
if anything,
it's endurance,
it would be
yeah.
endurance,
Then that would be fine. Yeah. I wouldn't say you need to do more carbs as long as you keep yourself in ketosis. It becomes really challenging because it's really easy to get out of ketosis and then you're not getting the benefits of the ketogenic diet and then you're super low carb, you're super low protein. So as long as you stay in ketosis, that would be fine. Yeah.
How do you go about determining if your hormones are out of balance? Which ones are out of balance and how to fix it?
Awesome question. And the answer would be laboratory testing. So there's a whole bunch of different things you can test. You can test via saliva, you can test via blood, you can test via urine. Different testing methods have pros and cons depending on what you're testing for. So With my patients, a lot of times starting out, we're testing urine because we can understand the full hormone pathway. End product hormones like cortisol, estrogen, testosterone don't just appear, they're converted via precursors. So when we understand what's going down what pathway versus another pathway, that helps us understand. We got to look at the whole picture. So urine testing is my preferred method when we're looking at the beginning to understand what's going on. And follow up, if we know that we know what the challenges are, then we can be much more specific and strategic to follow up on any sort of intervention and what you're doing to see how well it's working. But I'd say, the reason I got into this field, which is a naturopathic doctor, is because I wanted to know what was going on. Why? Because people weren't explaining it to me. Like our bodies, our health, our athletic performance is not a mystery. It's physiology, which can be really scary if you don't understand it, but it's all about processes and pathways, cause and effect. So by working out, 6 days a week super hard, we know what that's going to do to your hormones. Do you have the lifestyle to support that? Are you giving your body what you need to support that, to benefit from that? The vast majority of people are not, because they're not understanding what comes as a consequence. So that's why I'm a big fan of knowing what's going on with your body, because then you come from a place of, oh, my testosterone is low. Oh, let's find out why it's low. Let's do something to fix it. Let's follow up and make sure that it's getting fixed. Let's make sure I'm actually feeling better. When we don't have the testing, it's a little bit more of a shot in the dark. Yeah, does that answer your question? Yeah. Awesome. Anybody else? Yeah.
I got an email today and it was talking about the effect that like soap, shampoos, perfumes, candles can have on your hormones. So like,
Totally.
What are your opinions of like the effect that those could have, if any?
Yes. Awesome question. And if I would say one word, they have a tremendous effect. So our bodies are designed to heal ourselves completely naturally, given the right conditions. We live in a world right now where we're bombarded with toxins from personal care products, from, furniture, from gasoline, from pharmaceuticals. All these things are affecting our bodies. And our liver is a nice little organ that's right here underneath the border of our rib cage. It is the organ that takes all those things, converts them into forms that we can then flush out of our bodies. When you have such a high amount of toxins, the liver gets overwhelmed. It can't function well. Now, the liver is also the organ that processes out our hormones. So we start to now have build-ups of hormones in our bodies. Women are particularly susceptible to that because we have much more of a cyclical nature, and we're seeing so much more polycystic ovarian syndrome, premenstrual issues. Women, who do you know of your women friends that doesn't have significant premenstrual symptoms? Or if you are more menopausal, who do you know that's not going through like major symptoms from our hormones? They're all out of whack, and a large part of it is because of the environmental chemicals. So, but when we know where your hormones are, when we know how your liver's functioning, then we can take really targeted steps to cleanse your body, to detoxify your liver, to support your liver's detoxification so that those things don't cause the detrimental symptoms. Yeah.
Question, if you're testing hormones in general, what about people who are on birth control?
Yes, birth control. Well, I was just at a hormone seminar this last weekend. Let's just say birth control is, for some people, a necessary evil. And I use the word evil purposefully. It's something that's been sold to women as a very convenient contraceptive method, but it has a lot of side effects and a lot of downsides that we're not really being told about because it's synthetic. So there's really two options. One, we test based off of what we know you're taking, but it's really not going to be all that purposeful as long as we're looking at sex hormones. Now, if we're talking about stress hormones, thyroid hormones, all of the other ones, not all hormones are made equal, but for sex hormones specifically, we know what they're going to be like based off of the synthetic hormones that you're taking. I counsel all my women to consider more natural options because contraceptive synthetic hormones are really not good for your body, although they're very convenient. It's been shown that they actually have an increased risk of cancer, of heart disease, of stroke, on and on. So really, when I can get people on more natural options, they feel a lot better and have much less risk factors for chronic issues. I know that doesn't help with the testing, but what I do is I have my patients off of the birth control for 2 to 3 months, and then we're testing. And during that time, we're working on the liver to facilitate clearing out all those synthetic hormones so that we can then get your natural hormones more regulated or use bioidentical hormones to support depending on where you're at in your life cycle. Yep. Any other questions? Awesome. Well, thank you guys for your patience. Thank you for letting me talk. And